Hey, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Smikket, and we're talking about what the heck int main is today. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want you guys to understand that any C++ program or any program coded in pretty much any language is simply a series of functions that are all logically linked together, okay? So here's an example. On my desktop, I have this fake C++ program. Okay, let's just pretend there's a bunch of code in here, and we open it up to look at it, and it looks like it alphabetized my folders, but int main would go first, and then we could have another function, and another function, and another function, an infinite amount of functions, all doing whatever you want them to do, okay? So that is what a program is and how it works at one of the most fundamental levels. So you do need to understand that functions are essential to computers in general. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Google Chrome to show you guys an example of how functions work with programs. So I'm just going to go to Google Images, and we can consider Google as its own program. I mean, because it is. And we need to consider that we are putting something into Google Images. We are giving Google Images something, just like you might give a function in math class a number. 2x equals 4. You give it 2 as x. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if we typed in ferrets wearing hats, then, oh my god, we are given a ton of pictures of ferrets wearing hats. I gotta say, the first one's definitely my favorite. These are all amazing, though. And you guys, that is simply because we gave the program a value or a string of characters, and it went through a bunch of different functions, and it found all these pictures of ferrets with hats. It's pretty cool if you really think about what's going on behind the scenes with, something as basic and everyday as Google Images. So that's the example I wanted to show you, just to show that programs are made of functions. Hopefully that makes plenty of sense to you. So then let's go ahead and actually start talking about int main. Int main is a function, okay? And the way that functions are typed in C++ is there's the type of function, just like a variable can have a type, like when we went over data types. You can have an int, a string, a car, all these different data types, okay? But you can have that for a function as well. And then there are these parameters here, which I'll explain later, okay? Int main is always going to be the first function in our program, okay? This is the absolute standard for C++. Chances are really, really good that if you tried to name your very first function something other than int main, you're going to have a hard time running your program. In fact, it just won't run. Okay, guys? So let's go ahead and look at a little bit more of how this is actually a function. So here we have a real-world function that you would see in maybe Algebra 1 or pre-algebra or something like that. Distance equals rate times time. Okay, so I just want to compare this to the way you would see it in C++. Okay, so the function is giving us back an integer, distance. Okay, so we're gonna name it int distance, and then here we have these parameters, these parentheses, and in order to get distance, we have to give the function what rate and time are. We have to have values for those, right? So once we give it that function, there's some stuff that's going to go on in here that, I didn't bother to write down. But in the end, it's going to return distance. Okay, guys? And that is similar to int main, but different. And that's because int main definitely doesn't have anything in there. Okay, this is what int main looks like. And hopefully it makes sense that it returns 0 because, we're not giving it anything. But every time we have a function, it's got to return something. And when our compiler runs through our main function and it gets to the point where it returns a value, it knows that, all right, the jig is up, our program's over. Let's terminate it. Okay, guys? And the thing is that you actually don't have to have the 0 in here. You could put a 10 or a 5 or a 5,000, but seriously, don't do that. That is really bad programming. You need to follow the standards if you want to be a good programmer. Your computer might just blow up or something in your face because it hates you. Okay, so that's important to know. Well, guys, that's actually it. That's all I've got for you on int main today. I think I explained it correctly. I hope I explained it coherently. If you feel confident about it now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It'll really help me out. All right, have a great day, guys.